Hi everyone, my name is Kishan Monan and my metric card number is L22B0156. So as you all know, I'm here for the speak up session, that is also the informative speech. For my title, I'm going to share you guys about my own title. Before I want to reveal the title, let me explain the situation that you guys ever experienced before. So have you guys ever experienced the expectation and the reality moment? My consideration is can be yes, because every time when we try to expect something that could happen in the reality, it won't happen at all. Sometimes it would happen, but it would have a less imagination ways that in our minds. So in my perspective, in my own opinion, that expectation in and also reality, there are some differences between our gaps. So there are some effective ways to conclude that way. So let me try let me try to explain you guys that how many people have suffered and how many people have been achieved so many things about the expectation versus reality. First of all, the expectation that we all know, it's our imagination. We know that many people are starting to believe the reality because of the imagining, because of the expectation doesn't really involve in the reality. But there are some effect ways that could know in our imagination. We can always can be picture something, everything what we like. For example, we can imagine anything like a Ferrari. We buy a Ferrari car or everything else. But entire ways we have to know that if we try to imagine a car that can be is Ferrari, but it won't happen in the reality because that car is really high price. And if we wanted to make it happen, we must know that how you going to do it. So let me try to explain you guys. First of all, that you should know, we should know ourselves, that we can make the change of our own selves. First, you have to ask yourself, what do you expect for your accomplishments? For my own opinion, the the first thing that you must ask yourself is your achievement. The achievement that you might really want is, for example, you want to do a degree for your learning skills, whether it is your occupation or anything else. You must decide which part of the occupation you really, eagerly want it, and make it that plan before. You have to pre-plan it before, and then you have to make it happen in the next. So that's the main part. For the next thing is, uh, what do you think now? Let me ask you a question. When do you have tasks that need to be done that the way we expect, does it really going to happen? For my answer is no, because in the meantime, we can do any task that we need to be done is to be completed perfectly, but we can't chase time. Because, for example, when we are having a final year project that has to be submitted during the week 11, but we appreciate ourselves that we could be done quicker because we wanted to be done fast. But only the problem is the time is really running fast. Whether it is week 11 or week 12, we have to submit before the time, but we have to make it fast. Whether we should not be so much lazy not to do any task, then the reality can be changed anything. Even what we expect doesn't happen in the reality. So this is the first thing. Now we can make, by asking ourselves, we can make ourselves to be an own role model by having any talents in ourselves. We can have any types of talent. For example, we can have a cook, we could might be having a better drawing, or try to write a script, any movie script. Even we have a talent to do a direction. In my own opinion, I usually wanted to expect something that is big, that I want to become a director, but I'm trying to make an I'm trying to make a step by step forward to make gather to forward myself. Now, in ourselves, we can have a hidden talent that won't be shown, that well short that well, but in our gesture of mind can be prevailed. Only the way is to have a big plan decision and in our minds that to prove ourselves that we are the best by showing our talent. Next, we next is we have before to gather some great expectation we have to find our positives in our life. Basically, when we try to expect something doesn't really happen in reality, our mind starts to be let down because of the situation doesn't really happen because what we eagerly wanted it doesn't happen in the reality because it's because ourselves what we imagine doesn't really happen. So in a good way, to find the great positive we have to find a great person who is our own side that who supports ourselves to get our achievement or anything. Or even if you wanted to expect something that could happen in reality, you can have that person to share it. By that time, if you share that time, you can make an own expectation that can happen in the reality. So for the third, you when you try to think of the expectation, try to be calm down by knowing the reality before we want to if you want to expect something, a situation that is really big serious by your own selves, you have to try to calm your mind. You might not to don't feel any situation that can make you hurt your feelings negative as in a negative thoughts because our mind can simply capture the scene that what we can see through our own eyes. When we try to see any situation that is really hurtful that you eagerly wanted to do it but it doesn't happen, don't get stressed. I'm just trying to say that if you get stressed you won't get through your own other achievements. Now for my own conclusion, as you know, the relationship between the expectation and reality is dynamic and multifaceted. Navigating this interplay requires a combination of adaptability, mindfulness, and the effective communication, and a willingness to learn and grow for the experience that they unfold. So that's all for today, guys. Thank you so much.